Hi everyone! We are going to discuss 3 learning theories and how these theories are applied in a learning environment. These theories are Subsumption theory, Constructivist theory, and Social learning theory.
Jerome Bruner's Constructivist theory. Jerome Bruner was an American psychologist who developed theories on perception, learning, memory, and other aspects of cognition in children. His theory helps cognitive psychology. He explains how the spiral curriculum works. In this theory, there are 3 modes of representation. Number 1, enactive, learning through actions. This is applicable for 0 to 1-year-old. Number 2 is iconic, or image-based learning. It is applicable for 1 to 6 years old. And number 3, the symbolic or language-based learning.
Example, in the classroom of kindergarten students, there's a round cake brought by their teacher. The students watch how the teacher sliced the cake into 10 pieces and they happily ate it. As they move to the first grade, their teacher asks them to draw something that contains different shapes. They draw a round of cake that is sliced to form triangles. When they move to the third grade, they now up to a symbolic form of language. The round cake that is sliced into 10 is not just about shapes. Somehow it can now perceive as a fraction like 1 over 10.
This demonstrates that the curriculum should be spiral so that the students are constantly building on what they have already learned. The teacher here is expected to teach same lesson in different ways depending on the student's developmental level. Also, the role of the teacher is to guide them accordingly. It is called scaffolding, the term coined by Bruner as well.
We can incorporate constructivism in a classroom in ways of number 1, allowing students to ask questions and allow them to interpret everything in different ways. Number 2, making a reflection paper. It will help them to remember what they have learned and will help them to come up with another using the prior knowledge.
Let us discuss the meaningful verbal learning or the subsumption theory. It was propounded by the American psychologist David Ausubel in 1963. Its primary concept is how learners could process the information more effectively when it is associated to their existing knowledge. Rather than developing an entirely new base of knowledge, learners may relate it to concepts that is already existent in their minds. This theory emphasizes the importance of having prior knowledge in order to achieve an effective and meaningful learning. Furthermore, Advanced Organizer was proposed to assist students create connections between their previous knowledge and the new ones. These Advanced Organizer can be verbal phrases or graphs that will serve as a mental learning device to assist learners understand new concepts. Then how would we apply Ausubel's theory inside the classroom? First is simply by linking the current lesson to the previous one in a coherent manner. Students will gain a better comprehension of the current lesson while also being able to retain earlier information in their minds. Second is to make a well-organized progress plan for each lesson that the students must complete during the course. Students will be able to track their development and see where they are lacking with this technique. Finally, in order to highlight the value and main goal of the lesson, the teacher must demonstrate an organized thought and information in every end of the session. The best example for this is the use of concept map. Students will gain a better understanding of how one data is connected to the other by seeing how they are intertwined. It will also make it easier for them to learn the most up-to-date material and build a better foundation for each lesson.
Advocate of social learning theory. Albert Bandura, Canadian-American psychologist, 1961 to 1963, conducted a series of experiments if social behaviors or aggression could be occurred by observation and imitation.
Social learning theory suggests that a person can learn by means of observation and imitating actions of other people. The Bobo doll experiment. It is where the children imitates the actions of an adult towards the Bobo doll. For example, student A is active during recitations and she is usually rewarded with pointing chips that plays a huge part in her grades. Student B have observed this behavior and she decided to imitate it because of the reward given by their teacher.
How to incorporate social learning in your classroom? Teachers should always remember that they can focus on reinforcement to shape behavior, model appropriate behavior, and build self-efficacy as part of their classroom model.
Number 1. Flipped classroom model. It is where the instructor gives the student a video material to study it and apply what they have learned by doing an activity.
Number 2. Gamification and simulations. Turning activities into a competitive game with reward system that allows students to engage and observe punishment and rewards in the classroom if they can win a game or see someone succeed and imitate that behavior.
Number 3. Peer coaching. It is where the students help each other in order to finish a task.
According to Albert Bandura, the content of most textbooks is perishable, but the tools of self-directedness serve one well over time. It is concluded that in social learning theory, observation is enough for us to learn. Parents and teachers must set good behavior that the students can imitate. Punishments and vicarious reinforcement may influence students' behavior. Learning can be acquired through observation or direct experiences, but learning can occur without a change in behavior. Students must be exposed to a variety of exemplary models because modeling provides an alternative to shaping for teaching new behaviors.
To understand how to help, engage, and inspire all pupils to succeed, all teachers must have a full awareness of the various learning theories. By studying these theories, teachers will gain a better understanding of the learning process and how children develop in a range of areas and accomplish developmental milestones by studying them. Learning can be difficult to understand and comprehend. After all, everyone learns differently, responds differently to different tactics and styles, and progresses at their own pace.